These stroke shaders are super annoying. I'm pretty tired of having to deal with them. But there's still a few bugs to iron out. For instance, this stroke is an error. I actually know why it's an error though. Because two of these points are the same. Which makes... And all of this algorithm is pretty much based on these being a quote-unquote reasonable Bezier curve. And when 2 points are the same, I think... I actually don't know how well it works if there's a straight line either. OpenGL enjoyers, for sure. Yeah, but I also don't know how well this works for straight lines. But if 2 points on the curve are exactly the same, that causes some divide by zero stuff. So, going to have to fix that. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and commit the stuff that I have so far. Oh yeah, the OpenGL enjoyers thing is still, I think that's still my notification. I forgot about it. Okay. So the problem with this is going to be that when I'm figuring out the thickness here, let me set the file type to see. The thickness here is going to use the divide by the max dimension of the tile. And all of these curves are being drawn on tiles. Now that max dimension, the max of these two, tile x length and tile y length, computed by the tile x vector and the tile y vector. And one of these can sometimes be zero. Well, apparently is zero when two of the points are the same. My guess is that it's probably the X one. 0 to 2? Well, no, I feel like this one would go to 0. No, I actually don't think it's this. I think it's the Y one. Because I'm doing a cross product between this unit normal and the X unit. And one of these could easily be 0. The unit normal. Okay, so sometimes I try to compute the unit normal on my own. And this is anytime this angle between vectors works properly. I wonder if this is... The problem is that this never returns exactly 0. I'm gonna change this to like greater than... Well, I'm gonna save it. Rather than looking for 0 here, I'll put greater than like 0 0.1, 0.01. Not totally sure that'll help. Well, now nothing appears. I'm gonna try this. I'm just gonna comment this out entirely. Which means I'll use the unit normal from Manim. And the same thing happens. Manam's unit normal is really bad. But what I think will happen here is that this vector will have 0 length. And actually I can test that, I think. By moving this V color. So I have this V01 vec here. I'm gonna say if this length if that's exactly 0. Whoops. Then I'm gonna make this like bright red. Nothing else. And this will just be white. So in this case, okay, so we run that. So now it's red. The fact that it's red means this vector is in fact 0. If I try this on a more complicated example... Oh wait, was this even saved? Yeah, it was saved. Okay. Try this on something more complicated. I mean, not do the isolated one. But this S shape also has this problem. Oh, there are times when it's not exactly 0. Because there's one where it's white. So that doesn't get all of the cases. I wonder if this is a greater than like some small value though. No, that's not it either. In fact, looks like it's... Oh, greater. I should do less than. Didn't mean to interrupt you talking to myself. Well, in fact, I take enormous issue with you ignoring or you interrupting me talking to myself. That's completely uncalled for. I honestly can't believe you do something like that to me after everything we've been through. Okay, I gotta do something when these are straight lines, basically. If these points are in a straight line, I have to do something else. How much light you're still getting in California? Yeah, getting a fair amount. What's gonna be annoying with this? If these are in a straight line, so I have points like this, and this is a Bezier curve, quote unquote, then what I want is to try to get a tile like this. However, I don't have a way to get the unit normal pointing out. Like, I don't have a way to tell where the tile should face. Because if you're looking from like this direction, the tile could be like this, or this, or this, or this. Like, I need that normal. But I can't compute it with just these points. You always want to have a normal plane. Yeah. The problem is, Manam doesn't have a very good way of storing the normals. I think that's actually the problem with the line sometimes being really thin. I think Manam's just supplying a bad normal, because I ran into it too. That said, Manam does always have a unit normal, this one. Start with an arbitrary one for the object. Well, I could. This is the problem. I'd initially want to start that normal pointing somewhere, like maybe just in the positive z direction. But if I were to rotate this mobject in Manum, I would want these points to all stay the same. If I wanted to rotate around this axis, there'd be no change to the points, but there would be a change to this normal. So essentially, the correct way to do this is that all mobjects, all like vectorized mobjects, will have to carry this normal around because it can't be derived from the points on their own. And I'm not going to add that much infrastructure, I don't think. That sounds way too annoying for me. I'm probably just going to use the normal for Manum, and if it's wrong, then it's wrong. What was I doing here? Computing the tile data. So basically, to get the tile data, I need tile origin, x vector, x unit, then y unit, y vector. And that's what I need basically by the end of this block. Which isn't so bad. The origin is here. Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah, but the origin is here. This is the x vector. Let's call it Vx. This is the y vector. I have to compute all of these. So, and like right off the bat, I'm gonna need this normal. So, let me look for a way to tell if these are close enough to align. And Grant actually had to do this too. There's something like, reduce points or something like that. Get reduced control points. One of these files. Here. Okay. Populates new points with Bezier control points for the curve, which for quadratics will be the same, but for linear and for null might change. The idea is to inform the caller of the degree, while also passing tangency information in the linear case. Interesting. So this is essentially doing is it's seeing if the quote-unquote quadratic is actually a quadratic, or if it's a line, or if it's a point. Maybe I can just copy this. Maybe that's it. And you can tell if it's linear, then it's returning the starting point, the ending point, then interpolating between the two. So I'm gonna try just copying this, and yeah, I use syntax highlighting from C, which this isn't actually C code, but it's close enough. Okay, so angle between vectors. This is all basically, I do this. Whatever, I'll just do this. If has degree 2. This is what I want to do. Everything down to here. If it has degree 1, I have to do something totally different. Let me copy this. I also copied this from Grant, or a bunch of it. Which is also not that great, but I guess it's okay. So this, with this, I can just pass in 3 points. I don't know why this doesn't just return. Oh, it returns the degree. Okay. But I'm just gonna call this, see if it does what I want. So I'll say float degree equals this, and I'll pass in the 3 points of the curve. I think just current curve. I think current curve is already a vector of 3. Yes, that's fine. Now, I've like reduced points or whatever. I hope that's how you declare that. I'll just do something like this. I'll see if that even runs. Looks like it runs, that's good. I have to speed up that animation. Down to 2 or something. Kinda hacky. Indeed. Okay, but I can run this. I'm gonna say if that degree is 1, I'll say less than 2. That's when I'm gonna switch the V color. And hopefully, this is the case whenever... Great, and so this is good. Whenever this becomes large... Well, this is the bug, this square is the rendering bug. And whenever this appears, it is the case that this degree is less than 2, which means it isn't a regular Bezier curve. I wonder if I do equals 1, that actually works too. So I guess there weren't any issues where all 3 of the points are right on top of each other. But okay, that means now I can say I can get this degree, then now I can actually fill out this if. If degree equals 2, that's when I do all of this. So the question is, what if the degree is not 2? And the answer is I don't know. So I'm just gonna run this and see what happens. Guess it just crashes, dang. Because these can be undeclared. Okay, fine. Make sure I fixed that. Great. Okay, but if it has degree 1, this is where I'm going to want to start computing the plane like this. So first steps first, how do I get this origin point? Well, I think I'll just start with this point. Get this vector. Okay, so I'll need the tangent effectively. Then I get the tangent, so this vector, and I already have the normal, this vector. I can cross those and get this. This is like the tangent cross the normal. So, does this give me anything about the tangent? Guess not. Although I have V01 and V02. I'm starting to wish I did this with my tablet and not Paint. V01 is this. Goes from point 0 to point 1. So I will have the tangent. And I will have the normal. I'm not even sure what to call this vector though. Guess I could call it the Y unit? So I'm gonna get this tile Y unit. That's gonna be a cross of the tangent vector. Close this. Which is V01 vec. With the normal. Now this isn't normalized, so this won't be a unit vector. So I'll just normalize that. Great, so now I have this vector cross this vector, so I should point this direction. Which actually isn't the direction I want. At least in this diagram, the Y unit is pointing the other way. So I'll just cross them the other order. Yeah, so I'll take this, cross this, that'll go the other direction. Like so. And then normalize that, that's the Y unit. So that's great. Then I'll need the X unit. Which is actually just a normalized tangent vector. So I can just take this same vector V01 and normalize that. But if I'm doing that, I might as well normalize that vector here. Now I have the unit vector in the X direction. And now I don't need to normalize this, I think. Wait. Instead of V01 vec, I can use tile X unit. Unit. Then I'll take the unit vector cross this, which is also unit. So this is a tile Y unit. So I have this vector and that vector. Which still isn't the origin. But I know how to get the origin by expanding the tile. What I basically ended up doing is if this was... Okay, now I'm busting out. Now I'm using the tablet. Knocking things over in the process. Yep, it's happening. Actually, I'm gonna try to bring it over here. I don't know why I haven't just made a separate... We can make a separate scene to bring this up. And I just haven't. Okay. But here, when I'm expanding the tile, The expectation is that usually the points, these would be the control points, curve like this. And I was solving for a tile that was exactly, it was exactly covering these three. Which leads to problems when you try to make the curve a little thicker. And so what I'm doing, dang. What I'm doing here is expanding this. In each direction, I'm going back by 1. I'm moving the origin back by 1, then I'm expanding the vector by 2. And the net effect is that this will have a length 1 buffer in both directions. So that's this expansion. So here, when I have this straight line, the way to get from this point to this origin is by having a length 1 buffer in both directions. Which isn't super difficult. I think that's actually pretty easy. It just means here we can find that origin. It's the vector tile origin. That should be current curve at 0. That's that starting point. Minus tile X unit minus tile Y unit. That's all. Actually, why do I have here? I have 1 times tile X unit. But why would you multiply by 1? Well, I see why it's doing it. It makes it more symmetric. Okay, so that moves the origin back to here. The Y unit will always be 2. Because if this is a straight line, then this will have no thickness, and so this would just be length 2. You'll need the tile X vec. And this is going to be the length of the V02 vec plus 2. That was pretty easy. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Tile X vec. Yeah, so now I think I have all the data I'll need to compute the UV coordinates and so on. So I can make sure this still runs. And it doesn't. Because these are being redeclared. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's actually use this degree, and here I'll say that if... Actually, just to be really safe here, I'll make sure if I comment this, then everything runs. And it does. That's great. Okay, so now I'm going to say if this degree 1, that's what I'm going to do with this. And else... It can only be 0, 1, or 2, but I'm just going to put this in the else. Yeah. The shader is getting to be a little bit bigger than I would have liked. I might have to go back and organize it some. Okay, but I'm gonna see if this works. And it doesn't. Man, there are many errors here. What do we got? Float cannot be assigned to variable type vec3, line 124. Oh wait, this makes so much sense. Actually, won't these have to be declared outside? Outside of this if-else? Origin vec unit vec. But for now, say tile x unit and just multiply it by this. So same thing. Okay, try that again. Still things undeclared, tile x vec undeclared. Okay, so now it looks like we're onto the undeclared errors. On 155, yeah, which is expected. Because I have to declare these outside. So I'll just do this. Take off these declarations. Try that again. Okay. I'm not sure. Wait. Well, one thing. The error only occurs once now, instead of twice. So that's good. I am computing the tile correctly. Here, looks like there's something wrong. Dividing by the tile max dimension. If degree equals 1, this is actually not a bug anymore. This is expected. Actually, I wonder if the degree is ever 0. Still never 0. There's that one instance where it is, like, too big. So I'm gonna say, if that V thickness is really small, or really large, I guess, actually, what do I want to do? In the case that this V thickness is really large, I want to know the degree. So what I'll do, I'll say if this is greater than like, um, 0.1. Since the stroke width is something around 4 by default, this is like 1 or 2. So this is like multiplying by 2. So normally this is around 0.008. So it's greater than this. Well, guess that doesn't color it red. Yeah, I can put an extra 0 here. Now I covered all of it. I wonder if... This couldn't be equal to 0, could it? Since that would also cause the problem. Now, okay, I'm gonna get off of the S example and use the isolated example. Hopefully, this still has the bug. And it doesn't, but it does have nothing appearing, which I think is also bad. Which is also bad, actually. Maybe that's because in this case the degree isn't 1 or 2. Dang. Well, I can check it like this. If it's degree 2, now it just won't do anything. And now nothing appears. Oh wait, nothing is appearing either way. What's going on? Oh, because I'm actually not rendering anything. So make sure this still works. It draws the S. I'm actually gonna make that even faster now. So that draws an S. I'm gonna take out all of the degree 2 curves. Okay, so this is a degree 1 curve where this happens. Okay, so how is that going wrong? I wonder, oh, this normalize? If the 2 points are right on top of each other, then this vector is 0 length. And so this cross product will be 0 length. And so all this stuff will be 0. So I guess what I want here, I should use the reduced control points. Just do like reduced points. It should be reduced curve, shouldn't it? So I have this reduced curve. I could just do reduced curve at 2. There's reduced curve at 0. Should have pretty much the same effect. And that made it even worse. Well, did it make it worse, actually? There was one case. Before there was only one of these squares appearing, now there's 2. But I think the reason it didn't appear before is because one of those vectors was 0 and it wasn't supposed to be. So I think that's actually a good thing. But now I need to figure out why tile max dimension is basically 0. Which is the max of the tile x length and tile y length. So both of these are 0. Because I'm dividing by this. Tile max is 0. Which means these are both 0. Which means this is 0. The tile y unit is 0. The tile x unit also 0. So these have to be the same curve. Or the same point. Reduced curve at 2 and reduced curve at 0. You say... I guess I just save this vector actually. And I can get rid of these comments. I don't need those anymore. I'll just call this reduced this. That'll be that. Oh, well, after I rename it. Okay, so this should do the exact same thing. And it doesn't. So that's interesting. This actually sort of works, except for that flash. It's actually doing what it's supposed to do in those cases. Or at least as far as I can tell, maybe that thickness is off. Wait, why didn't that work before, though? Oh, I did 1 minus 0. Oh, Daryl Golden, what's going on? Your name is the same color as Epigram, so I couldn't see as easily. It's really weird to me that... Okay, I'm gonna put a 2 here. And use the 0, 2 vector. Yeah, that's really weird to me. It looks like... this vector is 0, but this one is non-zero? I guess say if length x unit. This is 0 length. Then I'm gonna update that color. And it's not 0 length, which is what I expected. If I check this one, it's also not 0 length. Okay, that's really weird. Or does that make any sense? I thought this was not working before. Oh, okay, so here it's being this size, which is too large. But it doesn't have length 0, this unit. Maybe I could do like, if it's less than 0.1 or something? No, same thing. Oh wait, so it's greater than 0.1 in this case. Okay, now I think I'm overriding V color somewhere else. And I am. Okay. So that was basically a waste of time. Let's try again. Okay, so it's not 0 length. Let's see if it's small. Is it small? In all these cases, it's greater than 0.1. Which makes sense, actually. It should be actually exactly equal to 1. And it is exactly equal to 1. Okay, so that actually checks out. me check the Y unit. That checks out too. So both of these have length 1. So this has to have length 2. Oh, the length of the V02 vec. Maybe the tile X vec is messed up? Although that doesn't make sense either. Let's see. Let's see if any of these are less than 0.1. Nope, that one's not. Wasn't trying to do that. And that one's not. Okay, this is starting to look like maybe it's something else entirely. Maybe this is a case of... No. I was thinking maybe the points are on top of each other. But I don't think that ever occurred either. So I'm going to check how high the thickness is. If that's large, I'll turn it red. Doesn't even have a large thickness. Then maybe it's 0? Nope, not 0 either. Well, that's annoying. Maybe I'm really tempted to just... What was it? Could I turn this to V01 and it would just kind of do what it's supposed to do? But I think I have to understand this. That'll probably lead to more problems down the road. Yeah. So I'm going to change this back to 2. So the problem occurs again. And now I'm going to try to isolate the points in the S that actually cause that. Let me close everything else. Do I have the S points somewhere? Guess not. I don't even know what all these files are. So that's still working fine. I'm so tempted to just try this again. You know, I wonder... No, the origin, the XVec, and the YVec. These have to be in the right place because the entire tile is appearing. It's appearing correctly. Maybe this is something other than a problem with the thickness? What's confusing is the fragment shader is really straightforward. It does say that distance less than V thickness. Which makes me think that that thickness is really high. Yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's say if that's greater than 0.01. Okay, that triggers that. But let's see if that happens normally. Yeah, that happens normally. So I'm gonna try to move this up. Gradually increase this. And see if I can find a cutoff. I'm close. That was too far. Huh. Was it just 1.5? Okay. I feel like this differential is too small. It's not, it doesn't look like it's with the thickness. And something froze. There we go. So the thickness is always greater than 0.016. But is the thickness always greater than... So these have thickness greater than 0.15. Is the thickness backwards? There's like some sort of discontinuity here. Or I wonder if this signed Bezier distance function is returning the wrong thing. That could also be happening. I think there's actually a decent chance that that's happening. It's saying if the distance is less than V thickness. Yeah, I'm gonna have to isolate the point. Unfortunately. Yeah, so I'm just gonna take out all the quadratic segments. And then I think I don't need this. Now wait. That's weird. This was causing that problem before, wasn't it? Okay. So this means that that problem was happening. Oh, it doesn't have degree 0. It doesn't have degree 1 or 2. So maybe... this is happening because something had degree 0? And if that's true, I'm gonna set the color to red. But why are they all red? Oh. Wait, I am so confused. Why are they all red now? That means degree is always 0. Which means this is always returning 0. I'm just gonna comment that. It was really strange. So now nothing appears. But why would nothing appear? Okay, now this is doing something I really don't get. Oh, this is just an else. Wait, but this has to be 0, 1, or 2. Wait, I'm going back. Now we just literally... I don't know why nothing is appearing. Okay, now things are appearing again. So what did I do? Oh, I had no V color. I think. Okay, in any case, I'm gonna work from here now. Means commenting that. Okay, so this is the only place where V color is set? Okay, I'll put V color equals color. So now this should work, okay, approximately normally. So now if I take out the Bezier for the quadratic curves, so this error is still with degree 1 curves. Great. Well, not great, but at least that does it. So what I want to do now is try to isolate which points in the S are causing that problem. So I'm going to go into... I'm going to vectorize my object rendering. I've tried editing this so that I have to press a key to go forward before. And it caused some sort of problem. So I'm gonna try this. Import time.sleep. So this will pause between each frame. That's perfect. Why can't I cancel this? Okay. And now when it does that, I'm going to print them object's points. This, I want to do object at 0. Think like this. Yeah, although it prints all of the points. Which is kind of annoying. Is there a way to, like, stop this after the 5th time or whatever? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's the 5th time. Why is this not stoppable? I guess after the 5th time I'll just raise or something. So I put a count equals 0 here. And like count plus equals 1. I'll just say if count is 4, 5, that's when I'm going to print those and then raise. Great. So I think that didn't work. You only did it like literally the first time. Oh, because this is called multiple times per object. Dang. I have to go into probably OpenGL render or something. Like here. Here I'll have to set count equals 0, though I don't know if it's global now. Would that be non-local or something? Nah, it has to be global. Okay. And that didn't work at all. Wait. Why did that happen? How did it not even raise? That's weird. I'm just try printing it. Okay, so that code isn't running. Oh, it's because it's returning there. Okay, now I know less why that crashed there. Yeah, why did that crash after only one time? Maybe this is being called a lot more than I thought it is. Well, let me go here. Or I'll go to it in this tab. Am I going to try to just use PDB here? Okay. So I think this means the previous time caused an error? Oh my gosh. Now I wish this was implemented differently. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy all of this. Just a bunch of these points. And put these in a mobject. Like so. Or almost like so. So that'll be the points. Then let me get an OpenGL mobject here. The stroke width to something, just 4 should be fine. Set its points to this. Self.add that. Hopefully this reproduces the bug. Wait, why is it doing that? Now I still have this here. Also, I don't want it to break there. Let's try this. 62 into 63. I think there's too many points. I'm actually gonna increase this and gradually increase it. Okay, so there, now the problem happens. I'll just delete these in multiples of 3. Take this out. Still happens. That is way too long of a wait. Take this out. It actually took out one of the instances of the error. I don't think I want that. Try this. Okay, so that was one of the errors. This. Okay, so now there's only one. Okay, so I guess this was an instance of an error. Okay, so this one's an error. So I'll just say these are error curves. And so what can I say about these? I thought these were the cases I was catching. And one, the first 2 points match, and the other, the last 2 points match. So it correctly says the degree is 1.0. Oh, it must be the... No? I thought it might have been the distance algorithm. Well, it could actually be the distance algorithm still. How's the progress on the shaders? Made a lot of progress, actually. The case that most people care about... I'll duplicate this. The case where there's something like... this is done, and it works well. What's messing... What doesn't work is cases where there's like a point, then there's the same point, and then there's a point here. This should be a line. But it's not. It basically does. It does that. Makes a square. And I think cases where you pass 3 of the same point, it renders nothing, but I'm kind of okay with that. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I am. But what I think is happening in this case is the distance algorithm is messing up. So what I'll try to do is I'm gonna pass a mobject, a random object like this. Origin, right. Oh my gosh, it worked. That's actually really frustrating. We did origin right. And that works too. Well, maybe the problem is that these numbers are pretty small as well. I'll do origin 3 times. So that's nothing. That's what I expect. right times like a really small number. Even this works, which is surprising. Does this work with thickness? It looks like it is. But this... and my highlighting, my syntax highlighting is messing up. This has a problem. Okay, so it isn't a problem with the point being repeated. Maybe it's like the point being repeated and then it didn't even seem like a problem with the point being repeated and the numbers being close to each other. Hold on. Oh, my syntax highlighting is messing up. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to try moving this in the X and Y direction a little bit. So right and up. Actually, this should just be, you should do it like this. And I did something wrong. Wait, what'd I do? Too many indices for array. Array is one-dimensional, but 2 were indexed. Where did this happen? In self.wait, I guess. Oh. I don't need this enclosing thing. Like this, I think. Okay. Okay, so it is something with the 2 dimensions. Interesting. Interesting. So basically, if it's only up, it works actually. If it's only right, that also works. But it's up plus right. This is going to be a rounding error thing. So happens if it's off by 2 dimensions and one of them is repeated. It probably doesn't matter if one of them is repeated. If I made this, okay, so this is 1, 0, this is 1, 0. If I made this half, so now neither of them is repeated. Wait, that's so weird. Maybe it's not as weird as I think, but it's pretty weird. So the fact that it's repeated matters. But I thought that if I was using the reduced points... Oh, I didn't use the reduced points here. Wait, that shouldn't matter. Oh, I didn't use the reduced points here! And that would matter. That would matter. That would matter. Use V02 Vec. This is okay. And I think this actually... maybe I'll just use the reduced points here, even though it shouldn't matter. So maybe this works. No, that's still broken. That sucks. Well, so much for that. I thought that was gonna save me. Maybe change one variable at a time. Nope, still broken. Reduced curve. Yeah, I messed that up. Yeah, so some problem with the repeating still. But the question I have is... well, this unit normal... this unit normal comes from Manum, though. I wouldn't be surprised if this unit normal was just not working. X unit, Y unit... yeah, I'm gonna try... Manum's unit normal has messed me up before. So I'll just put... let's make 0, 0. No, it's still messed up. -1, same thing, probably. Dang. Would have loved to find something to blame on Manum. Okay, but what's weird about this is that when I call get reduced control points, and the degree that it returns is 1, then it's in this case. And in that case, the 3 points it returns are no longer the same. It spaces them evenly so that they're not the same. So why does it matter if these are... wait. Oh, this isn't taking points and spreading out points. No, it's taking P0, P1, and P2. And those are the same. Darn. So now I'm getting pretty stumped. P0 plus P2 divided by 2. Maybe I could just get away with not rendering these. Or just making them a point or something? I wonder if it's because the GPU represents floats with less precision than the CPU does. I think that's a thing. Normalize of the reduced V02 vec. Maybe the problem is with normalization? Or... wait, maybe this is a red herring too. The tile actually has the right dimensions. The only thing is that the distance function is messed up, right? Where's the fragment shader? The distance function gets messed up. And this distance function is using v current curve, and v current curve is projecting the current curve onto the tile, and these are not updated with reduce control points or whatever. So if that degree was 1, what I want to project here is actually the reduced curve. Okay. So I guess I'll say vec3 of 3 points to project or something like that. Wait, what happened? Did I break something? I feel like I just broke something. But yeah, I think I have to do this. In this case, I just say points to project equals reduced curve. And in this case, points project equals the current curve. And here what I'll project, and this shouldn't be points to project, it should be curve to project. So here and here. Great, it's not doing that anymore. So now, if I render this S, okay, so that S didn't look the best. It looked a lot better. It looked actually much, much better. So now this S, this looks perfect actually down here. Up here, what is going on? This looks like some other rounding error. Some kind of rounding error that's occurring. And honestly, if the degree is 1, I probably shouldn't be using a distance. Like the S is dirty, yeah. If the degree is 1, I probably shouldn't be using a distance algorithm that's written for quadratic curves. Man, that's so close. It's so close. It looks so good. And most curves don't do this. Oh, there are curves that can crash the... I found that there are curves that can crash the... It's happening here. The fill shader. This is actually a little bit more confusing. It's happening over like a longer area. Okay. Anyways. Guys, do you ever use an angle between vectors function in this? Yes. I do. I use it once, but when I call this function, I'm inside of a block where the degree isn't 1. Now, the degree can be 0, which is a point, and that would cause problems. Uh-oh, I think my internet is going out. At least it says disconnected up here. Doesn't say anything yet. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And use the arc cosine, yeah. Here. But it only does that if the degree was determined to be 2. Not very numerically stable. I see. It could be. Is there a better way to do it? Okay, I'm gonna take out the quadratic curves again. What's the better way? And this is a either degree 0 or a linear curve. An arctan 2-way, I see. Well, it isn't causing a problem right now. Okay, that's actually helpful. Because this problem is occurring with things that have degree 1. Actually, I'm gonna go on. If it's degree 0, I'm just not gonna do anything. Okay, so it's happening with degree 1. So I'm gonna try to find what the points are that were causing that problem. And I solved that, so that's good. I'm actually I'm gonna make sure this still works. This file is basically filled with shapes that had bugs. Yeah, and so this works now. Before this is making basically a square. So it's good that that's solved. The V shape sometimes does something weird. But that looks like that's working. Pretty sure this is a crash. And it is still a crash. But this is 3 points repeated. Because it starts at up and it's aligned to itself. But okay. I think this works perfectly. I'm just kidding, no it doesn't. Wait, why is this not appearing at all? Well, that's a problem. Don't know what broke that. But it is certainly broken. Actually, I wonder... Hold on. Oh, because I'm taking out all the Bezier curves. Try that again. Great. Great. All the quadratic curves I should have said. Okay, so now I have to figure out why that problem with the S is happening. No more time to stall. So I'm gonna try to go here. And then just pause this on user input. Poetry run. I think this is the command. No, it's not working. Dang. I was trying to get it to wait for my input. Maybe that was something with the GUI, actually. Because I think the GUI is trying to capture input. No, still happens. Oh well. I guess I can't do that. So I'm going to import time and time.sleep, I guess. It should slow down the loop. Okay, and I'm gonna need to know the index where it does that thing. I should really figure... Wait. What if we can use PDB here? That should work. And that does actually work. So... if it's pausing here, it does the render here. So on the loop where I see the error, like this one, this is where I want to print the points. So these points have the error. Oh, wait. So I'll just copy that many. Should work normally now. So now... I'll just paste all these in. Why are so many points the same? So... there's a function called pointwise become partial. I think is the one. And my searching is not working for it. Is it pointwise become partial, or... it might be decastal Yao or something. I think this is it. And this function does it. that's the short answer. Basically, when Manum is determining the points to draw, when you do right or whatever, and so if you have a curve like this, then for one frame it'll be this, one frame it'll be that, one frame it'll be that, and so on. It does this by computing these, then it sets all of the last points to this point just over and over and over again. The result is that if you have a super long Bezier curve of like 1,000 points, and you draw the first frame of it being drawn, then I have like 4 points of this and 996 points of just this point over and over again. Actually, it won't be 4, it'll be 3. But yeah, that's fine. Okay. That is the function to look at if you want to fix that. I do think that's probably a bug. There's a lot of wasted space. Okay, so I'm going to get a mobject here. It's gonna just be 4. Set the points to this. And then just try to add it. And then wait for like a second. I don't expect mob is not defined. Am I indexing something wrong? Self is not defined. Mob is this. Mob.points. Not sure why this is complaining here. Indentation. Okay. Okay, so this number of points probably isn't a multiple of 3. Buffer cannot be empty. Oh, this is doing the... Wait, that's weird. This is having an error in the fill algorithm, which is annoying. I guess I just won't use the fill shaders. And there's still a bug. Stroke data.2 bytes. Oh, did I vectorize object earning 289? Stroke data.2 bytes. Wait, why is this empty? Oh, I'm not doing .data. Okay, try that again. Okay, so now it needs to be a multiple of 3. Okay. So that's great. Now what I'm going to do is take out the points that don't have the bug. Okay. Okay. And the singular point probably... I'm gonna start taking out those. And take out these. I should be using the hot reloading here. That is what I should be doing. Yeah, so I want to take them off the end. So now there's only two. Okay, and this one's causing the problem. Okay. So why would this be a problem? It looks kind of normal. 10 to the negative 2? That's 1, that's 2. And 1, 2, 3. And this is this. I don't think any of this is a problem. Literally changing the scientific notation fixed it. I'm gonna hope I messed up something with the scientific notation. Okay, then I'll do -1. This will be annoying because this is... Oh wait, no, it's still here. It's still here. So this is not good, but a little bit better. Here, it's still here. You didn't remove the e to -1. Oh, thanks. Okay, so here, it's still here. And then this. Okay, so it's still here. Nothing looks that off about these points. These are basically 0. This looks okay-ish. I wish I could just, like, if something's wrong, just make this a 7 or something. And then it just doesn't happen because this is a rounding error. Okay. The fact that this is a numerical error... it's pretty disheartening. That means there's nothing wrong with the algorithm. It's gonna be something with the rounding. So I'm just going to make the entire tile appear. So what I'm doing here is I'm throwing out the tile. I'm going to put the tile back. And the tile's being computed correctly. This is what the tile's supposed to look like. So isn't a problem with the vertex shader, since the job of the vertex shader is just to compute that tile. It's a problem with the distance algorithm. The bad news is that the distance algorithm is crazy. The good news is that I didn't write it. I took it line for line from this shader toy. So I'm gonna assume there isn't a better way to do this. And instead, try to compute distance to a line instead. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to swap out the algorithm, I think. Is there... I wonder if there's anything else I can... There's like not even anything to detect, I don't think. Let me... Is there anything to detect? I wonder if I projected the current curve instead of the reduced curve. Oh, that fixes it. That's super annoying. Okay. Why did I change this again? If one, all points are close. Actually, I don't know if all points have to be close. It was one point is repeated and the two distinct points are offset in both dimensions. Then projecting the current curve. I don't even remember what it did. Renders a square, renders the whole tile. And that's why I stopped doing this. Let me see if I still have that example. I do. So I'm gonna copy that. So these are the two objects. I'll call this mob 2. They render both of these. Oh well, one will just cover the other one. I wonder if I can shift it. Did it work? Wait, where's the first one? Where'd it go? What was that? Oh, did it just... Reduced curve... Does it just not appear? Wait, where did it go? This one's disappearing now. Hold on. Oh, it's being counted as a Bezier curve now. Okay, so that one's working now. And this one is also working, but I shifted it. And now it's working when I don't shift it. So I do this and I color the tile, or I discard the tile. Are they both working now? Boy, do I love me some numerical errors. Let's try this again. The problem with the S is still here. And that was this one, I thought. Oh well. If I don't draw the S. So why is this working? I feel like I'm gonna have to isolate it from the S again. Yeah, that's just working now. Well. I guess I have to take it from the S again. I think I know a faster way to do it at least. And go back to here. Okay, so there was the error. Object at 0. I think it's just this one. Or at least that would make sense. I'll just take the repeated point, then the two curves before that. That should be fine. Yeah. Great. So now I make the points of this be this. No, and not draw the entire S. Great, so that still has a problem. I think it's not this. The point. And maybe it's this one. Actually doesn't look overtly wrong. It's probably gonna be this one. Wait. That looks right. The one with the 384. This one also looks right. But together they don't look right. Well, it's missing a space there. Doing the current curve doesn't help. Wait, this doesn't actually make sense. The ending point of this curve is different from the starting point of this curve. So there should be a space there. This probably won't fix it, but what if you try placing the angle between vectors function with this? This function isn't using the angle between vectors function. That only gets used here. Well, let me see. If I take out the Bezier curves and then render this, yeah, it's still being rendered. And so basically that the bug still happens even if I comment out the call to that. This kind of looks like an SVG error. It's probably not, though. Wait, let me look. This is at 0.42. And this is at 0.5? Isn't that far enough to tell a difference? Well, even... almost looks like it's doing the right thing. I wonder if there's a point in here where it's... doing the degree 0 thing? How would I even tell that? Wait, or degree equals 0. No, but that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I didn't think so. I forgot what this error even was. Yeah, it was like this. That's why I used the reduced curve, because if I use the current curve, then that messes up. So this, using current curve. This error, I don't understand. This looks like an error no matter what. Maybe this one likes the current curve. Nope. That's pretty weird. Let me go back to the S. Wait, what'd I do? Well, I found some more errors, so that's good. Oh, because I'm using current curve. Man, I wish they'd stop doing that. Yeah, I have to use the reduced curve no matter what. But it didn't look like this when I isolated it. It didn't look... I don't know how to describe this. Dirty or whatever? I draw the S and also add the object. Oh, I isolated something in a different place, I think. Might be. So that would explain it. So let me try that again. Here. I think the problem is this curve. But when I isolate this is probably actually the same curve. Yeah, it is. You know what it might be? It might be a few curves that has this, that are doing this. Not just one or two. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna try taking all of these. Oh, yeah, and, yeah, I don't want to do that. Actually, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to draw the S. And this actually looks right. They're like basically right. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 curves here. Why are these spread out so much? Now I'm getting stumped. I'm gonna draw the S and add the S, and then add these curves. It's like on the S there's the problem. The S has the problem, but the other curves don't. This is just the S with a hole there. I wonder if I can do this. If I can put input here, that would help a lot. Oh, and I can't. Darn. Probably because of the GUI. Although input has been giving me some problems before anyway. Oh, I wanted to show just the S. Wait. I had to do this. So this is just the S. Yeah, and when I add the points there, it changes. I think. This doesn't even look like the same points. Okay, here's what I think I'll have to do. Add the S. Wait, I have to have a second. Remove the S. Okay. I'm probably about to try to solve this next time. What an annoying error. I think the obvious solution to this, though, since this is happening in the linear case, is that if the points are effectively aligned, or possibly are aligned, hold on. V point, no, that's right. Or is that right? Tile point. Tile X vec, tile Y vec. Wait, what? The tile point gets projected. No, yeah, I think this makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay. Yeah, if it's in the linear case, I should use an algorithm for the shortest distance to a line. Not an algorithm for the shortest distance to a cubic Bezier curve, because this is doing just a ton of math that's prone to precision errors. And besides, the formula for the shortest distance to a line couldn't possibly be that difficult. But okay. Guess I'll still have to keep working on the stroke shaders, but I can do that on the next time. So thanks to everyone who watched. Oh, I forgot to turn on the lights. Right, I'll see you guys in the next stream or the Discord.